crazy stuff happened. Basically, I've lost my home, and I know I will make all of these dreams become reality. This is a fucking reminder video that I've believed in myself all the fucking time. So let's go. I have closed another client, but this time it's I get paid 300 times more. So if you can do a simple math, it's $1,005 fucking $100 for copywriting. Patience fucking pays off. That's all I can say.
Okay, so welcome to a quick client interview. So I am sitting here with Jakub, who joined me last year and started copywriting as a complete beginner. So Jakub, if you want to tell me sort of where you started off at, like how much you were making per month when you started copywriting, your coaching with me, and where you're at now.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you, Matt, for having me in the video. It's a pleasure. And when I started, I was at around 500 euros per month. Basically, I was doing copywriting for fun. Like it was literally a side hustle. I was like doing it for like 1 or 2 hours a day. I was like watching YouTube tutorials, like doing just random stuff. And right now, I'm currently at 10K a month, basically. So it's pretty unbelievable. And the story is pretty unbelievable as well. So yeah, and all thanks to you. So
No, you did the work. I just helped you. You did the work. Yeah, so Jakub's absolutely put the grind in the last year, and he's actually working as a coach in our community now because he pretty much went through the entire program and hit it on the money, actually exceeded the expectations of what we get. So Jakub, basically you've had a pretty mad transformation. Am I right in saying you were homeless at one point before we started here? I know that's the most dramatic thing ever, but
yeah.
you want to tell us a little bit about your story of like where you were at and where you're at now?
Yeah, so like I know it might sound as cheesy as it gets, but it was actually true. And to be honest with you, I couldn't believe I will be saying these words one day, but here we are. And basically like when I was doing copywriting for fun, I was like a dance instructor on the side, so that was like my main job basically. And like when I look back at it, I feel like I've had pretty good life. Like I've had good friends, good family, everything was nice. Like there were no problems. And then basically one day, like out of nowhere, we've discovered that my uncle has a debt of like 100 grand basically. And it was like the craziest thing ever. And basically what he did was that he never told us. And because he couldn't pay off the debt, basically like the company came and they kicked us out of the house. I don't know like how you say it in English, like all these like terms and stuff, but like I feel like readers and like people who watch this video will understand. So I hope it makes sense.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. So what happened then? Like what was next? So you were
Yeah, so basically the company told us to move out in like a month or they're going to like sue us and kick us out anyway. So that was like madness. Like I've never like experienced so much of stress at one period of my life. Like I feel like this period was where I transformed from a boy to a man, if it makes sense. And basically I had to make money no matter what, right? And now, because I have been already dancing for like 10 years, I know the importance of having a coach. And that's where you came in. And basically, what I've told myself, I knew I will never ever make money dancing because, like, even if you're the best in the world, you will never make good money. So I was like, let's just do it with copywriting because that's already something I can do, like barely do. And basically what I've done afterwards is that I've done enormous research and I wanted to look for somebody who will give me the biggest probability of getting paid, basically, right? Getting some legit coach. And what I've done is I've looked through YouTube. Like I'm not gonna say any like crazy tactics. I just look at YouTube. And because I had like a good eye and like good taste for what is good and what's bad, like already at that point, I've watched you, and like, to be honest, like I loved your like free content, and the most important thing for me was that you were relatable to me, if it makes sense. Like I could relate to so much because like we are roughly the same age, and I was like, if this guy from like nowhere can make it, so can I. So that was like the biggest point. And this is why I chose you, because from watching you, I have gained the impression that you will give me the highest probability of success, basically. So that's why I chose you, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I can definitely relate to. It's probably something I should tell more on the channel. But basically, whenever I started, I was like, I needed to make money because I had dropped out of university, or like I was still in uni, and then I just like I needed to make money so I could go back, and I just basically worked. I was like, I have to make money. I just like generally for me, I have to throw myself into a situation where failure is not an option, and if you know that's when you become the smartest version of yourself, you become the hungriest. That's how you get the best results. So I can see like how that's played out for you as well, and it's absolutely insane what you've been able to do. So yeah, that's absolutely inspiring. Can't believe it. Like we've had some calls over the last year where I've just been blown away. I'm just like, this guy works harder than anybody I've ever seen. So very happy to hear that. Anyway, so you discovered me through YouTube, and I think we have a couple of questions here I wanted to just quickly get through. Basically, can you tell me what it was like at the very beginning through the first month where you had to close a client, like your back was against the wall? What was that process like, just getting your first client?
Yeah, so the most important thing, there was a community where I could post my copy, and basically my copy was reviewed instantly. So that was like the most important thing. I got instant feedback. I could also work with you, which was like the biggest privilege I've ever had, and like the best thing that could have happened to me. And yeah, and like I feel like besides all the technical stuff, like writing a copy, getting clients, all this sort of stuff, like your course is great, obviously, but like the most important thing for me was the direction I've been given.
Yeah.
Because like when when I was like dancing and I was like practicing 5 hours every single day, I lacked a clear direction, and I was super angry because I put all the hard work in and nothing came back, basically, if it makes sense. So that was like the most important thing. I've had clear direction. I've literally had like, hey, do this, this, and this, and you will get this result. And that was like the biggest game changer for me. I've had a clear direction in something I had no knowledge about, basically. So that was like the most important thing. And I also, the most important thing, which you are not going to get at many places, I guess, is your like sense for professionalism and like your awareness for the detail. Like I remember when you were coaching me, like you strived for nothing else but excellence and professionalism, basically. So like I remember like these days, and you remember it as well. Like you were so empathetic towards my situation, but other than that, you didn't give a single thing about it, and you just wanted to make me succeed, basically. And like
Yeah.
no matter what it took, I remember like all these like nights and like early mornings, and like I know it sounds cheesy, but it's freaking true. So I just had
Yeah.
to.
No, I mean, I remember your situation. I was like, look, I've had similar ones in the past couple of years where it's been like, whenever I first started, you just feel sorry for yourself all the time. You're in this shitty position, and it's
Yeah,
so easy to feel sorry. And if you talk to the people that are around you and your family, generally they will just be like, yeah, it's hard. They don't tell you to push yourself.
yeah,
I generally find like I have to. Like whenever even I moved to Dubai, I didn't know anybody. I literally moved there by myself, and it was the most stressful thing of all time. I was lonely. Like there was weeks, like full couple of weeks where I didn't see anybody. Like I was in my house, went to the gym, and that's it. And it's like pretty depressing. And then I was sort of going like talking about it to someone one night, and they were like, "Well, you're a big boy now. You got to figure it out." So it's just like, and then that sort of stuck with me. It was like your complaints will fall on deaf ears, because if you want to just sit and complain all the time, that's fine. You'll continue to complain all the time. If you want to actually solve the problems that you have, you just have to solve them. You just have to keep your head up, keep going every day. And it's something I've seen you do, because so many people will start copywriting, and as soon as it gets hard, or as soon as they don't know what they're doing, they just quit, because they're just like, nah, it mustn't work. Like, I haven't seen this work with anybody in my own life, so it doesn't work, which is why it's so important to just get your first client in. So I'm not sure if you mentioned it there, but I think you said you got your first client through Upwork. Is that right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And before I mention the client, I'll just quickly mention what you just said before, and you've talked about the proof. And the most important thing as well was that you showed me that you actually believe everything I want is possible. Like the positive mindset inside the community. Because like in my life, from like where I live, I've had like I don't want to be like feeling sorry for myself or anything. It's just a fact that I observed, basically every single person or like majority of people are super negative. Like when I started with this, they were like, "Hey, find a normal job, like stop living with your parents or whatever." And like they were really negative and they were like, "You're gonna be broke forever, you're never gonna have money." And it's like I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then I saw a like difference in the mindset and difference in the work ethic and in the attitude as well. And like this is what I feel made the biggest difference for me. So I just wanted to mention that because I feel this is the most important thing when it comes down to like coaching and like having community or all this sort of stuff. But with the client, basically what I've done was this, like you basically coached me to become a professional. Like that's just all that there's to it. Like, and that was like the most important thing. And like it was all these like small details, like getting lights, getting good camera, getting, great portfolio, having a nice online presence, like all this sort of stuff. And like it might sound like easy and simple, but there's like 50 other things that you have to do at the same time. So it's not easy. And if you're a beginner, you are never ever going to figure it out by yourself in such a small period of time. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. You've taught me to be a professional, and then I've got, I've sent out like 20 proposals on Upwork, and then I've closed $1,500 client for a one sales sequence. That was all. And like
Your first client was for how much?
1,500. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was through Upwork.
Yeah. And like it was like one of the best clients I've had up until this point. And it was because you've taught me to be professional.
Yeah,
Like
that's great. And what was it then that sort of got you to get more clients? Was it through referrals, or was it, tell us a little bit more about how you scaled up from just that one client?
yeah, so I've had like doubts that I'm not going to be able to like replicate the early success, if you want to call it like that. But what happened, which was like crazy, that first client that I've got told me that she wants to work with me more, which resulted in a $5,000 retainer, which is insane. So she's given me like other sequences. And then she told me she's got another friend that does the exact same thing as she does, and that she wants to like get help with Facebook ads. And so I started working with her. I've got like I don't know, like $500 from that one gig. That was like there was nothing big. And then when she saw like how I work, how professional I am, then she basically signed me for the same price. So right now I'm at 10K a month, which is absolutely mad. Like
Wow.
you cannot imagine like how much money is this in at the place where I live. Like
Yeah.
crazy.
Nah, bro, it's absolutely insane. I think some of the biggest takeaways for anyone watching, obviously, it's the clarity of direction, because at the beginning, you don't know what you're doing. I was in the same position, and I know that the reason I charge for like coaching And I generally make my content free, is that you can get the content anywhere for free, like on like how to learn copy and stuff like that. The things that you pay for are basically are basically like client acquisition methods that work now, like basically things that are working now that are quite unique to the present moment, because there's no point me charging you $5,000 if I was going to charge you to coach with me or whatever, just to like basically like tell you, oh, go learn copywriting, this, read
Yeah.
this, look at this. It's for the clarity of direction. It's like it's going to get you there much faster if you believe that it can happen for you. If you actually think about it, if you're like, if you're going to spend your time pursuing copywriting so you can make like 10K a month or whatever it is, and even go on from there. It's like, right, if you know you're going to do that, right, you know you're going to invest all of your time into getting to that level, then why would you not save yourself if you're going to end up at a run rate of 10K a month within like a year, which is pretty much
Yeah.
what you've done here, then wouldn't it be worth spending some money to actually just invest in yourself? And we're gonna have different prices for programs and stuff. Like one-on-one coaching with me and our sort of higher ticket group is going to be more expensive. We will have a lower price option, but this is just me like basically plugging our sort of paid offers. But basically, the big takeaways of what you've learned sounds like clarity of direction, because at the beginning you see everyone doing different things, and I even get it. I've just paid for like a huge amount of money for a program, and it was basically just so I could say, okay, I'm going to stick with this one thing for an entire year, and at least that'll get me like way better results than if I was like jumping in and out of different things, because nothing will ever happen if your focus is like distracted among a couple of different things. It also sounds like, yeah, the raising of the standards is something I see in beginners, and it's something we worked on a lot, where basically you have no perception of what a good standard of work is whenever you start
Yes.
out. And the exact same goes for like how you reach out to people, how you behave, how much work you have to put in. Like it is going to take you a lot of work if you want to get results. There's no bullshitting around that. You want to do something that
Yeah.
like everybody wants, which is be able to work from anywhere in the world, make a good amount of money. It's like it doesn't happen if you just like half-ass everything and like spend like 30 minutes doing it. It's just not the way it works. You have to basically learn everything at the start. You're doing every job in the business. But once you get, the reason I focus on copywriting to help with beginners is that it's like you don't have to learn like that much shit. You just have to learn how to write copy and then get a client. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. It's like it doesn't require you to learn Facebook ads, and you require to learn 50 other things. But yeah, it's definitely a good one to start with. So yeah, we've got one or two more questions I want to get through, and then I will let you go. So, what was the breaking point for you whenever you were sort of at the before you had started getting into copywriting? What was the breaking point that made you think, "Fuck, I need to go all in on this"?
Yeah, so the breaking point was basically like looking at my parents after we lost our house, and I was like I remember it was Christmas, and like I've like looked at them, and I was like, oh fuck, like this is not good, and like this is serious, and like people were telling me, like even parents, like chill out, and I was like, no, like
Yeah,
it sounds like from some movie, but it actually was like it was crazy, and yeah, like I've realized that I never ever want to be at the same place. And through this lesson, I've basically learned that good things come to people who work hard and all the time. So that's
yeah.
pretty much it. Yeah.
So, final one. I mean, what did your day-to-day lifestyle look like before you were doing this, and what does it look like now that you've actually hit this point? So, what was it like at the start?
So basically, I was, you mean like when I started working with you or before
Before
I,
before you were writing copy, or before you'd even started this, like what was your lifestyle looking like? Were you able to afford like to do
yeah,
fun
yeah.
stuff, or did you have much time? What was your life like?
Yeah. So basically, I was a dance teacher, which I still am, but like I'm not doing it too much. And like I've had a nice life, but I was super broke, like super broke. Like I've made like 1 grand per month, which is nothing today. So, and yeah, I basically like the life was good, but like I couldn't afford anything like that, and like it came to the point where it was like really really bad, and like this loss of home made me realize that, and I've worked super hard on it, and so that's pretty much that. Like, I don't have to, I know it sounds like, again, cheesy, but like, I don't have to worry about, gas. I don't have to worry about, spending money on like restaurants or whatever. I don't have to like count every single penny when I, go out with my friends or like whatever. Because like if somebody doesn't have like money to pay, for the drink or whatever, I just pay it and like I don't care. So like that's super cool. And I also like I can buy stuff for my parents, which is like the happiest and like the most positive thing for me right now. Like I've just bought them a like a weekend in like some holiday resort, and like they haven't been on holidays for like 10 years. So like, and like seeing them, be happy makes me happy. So
Very
that's pretty much that. I've also bought a, like a professional setup that I've put insane money into, but like it was worth it. So that's pretty cool too. Yeah, like I don't like I'm not at a point where I'm like rich, but like I'm at a point where I'm 5 times better than I was before when it comes down to like finance. And
yeah.
it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, and I think with you, one of the biggest things that I saw that has basically kept you going at this level is whenever you get started, obviously all you have is time really. You have a little bit of money and it's like you don't want to spend that on anything. And then as soon as you start making money, you just think about like, okay, lifestyle generally. And even for me, I remember at the beginning, I knew that I was like, this might not last forever. Like I need to put the work in here. And it was when I started investing money in things is whenever I was able to actually grow up, because you'll never be able to grow unless you spend some money. At the
Yeah.
beginning, everybody sort of keeps all the money because they're like, holy shit, this is all my money. Because they look at it like a job. Because whenever they had a job before, it's like you make your money and you spend it on your lifestyle. But now you have a business, you have to realize that look, you aren't guaranteed the salary like you were in your job. So if you want to actually grow this and maintain at the level you're currently at, you do need to reinvest. And I think whenever you invested with me, that obviously gives you direction. And at least, even for me, I find I would rather, like, if someone's going to coach me, I would rather spend an unholy amount of money. So at least it commits it in my head that I'm like, okay, you can't back out of this because you've spent all this money, you've sunk your cost in here, you just have to go for it. And even with you, like with your setup, I remember you used to just have your laptop set up like I do at the moment. I'm not in my apartment in Dubai, so I'm basically working off like a beginner setup here. But you've spent it on like your backdrop. Like this is the level of quality you would expect from someone who's making 10K a month if you're running a business. So that's absolutely amazing. I'm really, really happy to see that. And I mean, if there were any final words, what would you recommend someone goes off and does now if they're a beginner?
Yeah, definitely like drop your egos and realize that the person that is your teacher or mentor or whoever, they know way more, and because of that they make way much more than you. And so if you want to make this kind of money, or if you want to learn that skill or whatever, you just have to shut up and listen. That's what I would say. Shut up, listen, and do. And like, don't argue against anything. And like, really study hard people who are better than you. Because if you were able to make 10K a month, trust me, you would be making that amount of money. But you are not making it. So that's the reason you should listen to your mentors and not to like people who put you down, or to yourself, because you are not currently able to make that much amount of money or whatever. So that's my final thought. Just listen and learn. Super important.
100%. And if you're interested in working with us as a coaching client, you want to build your copywriting business, whether you're working a job at the moment or whether you're in school, and you just want to build something on the side to basically get yourself out of that 9 to 5 race, if that's what you're looking for, then you can work with us in the link in the description. You'll probably have to apply and speak with either me or one of my team, but we would be happy to have you. We have limited spaces, so we can't accept everyone. But if you would like to repeat what Jacob's done here, I would absolutely love to work with you. So, yeah, we're going to cut it off here. But thank you very much, Jacob, for hopping on the channel and
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me, man. Pleasure as always.
100%. Well, thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.